JC here for RetireCheap.Asia. You've heard that before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Once or twice, right?
Yeah.
Our friend Roy here, a member of our membership site, is over visiting, checking out Thailand, and so I've caught up with you a couple times now and had some conversations, so I thought I'd, sort of pick your brain a little bit on camera so other people can share with your wisdom and knowledge that you've gleaned from being over here. And what I found out today, which was interesting, is that in your research you've also been to Panama and did research about what, retiring there or spending time there?
Yes, I thought I'd check out Panama. I heard a lot about retirement in Panama.
Yeah. When were you there?
I was there December, first week of December through Christmas.
Oh, of 2011?
Yeah, through busy
cool.
time.
What did you think about Panama?
Panama is very interesting. There's only 3 million people in Panama versus 65 million people here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different, and there's a lot of different parts of Panama. Panama is really hot.
But it's also
like here.
a lot smaller country.
It is, but Panama City is really bustling, and it's really moving. There's no recession in Panama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not many people that speak English, and you have to know a little bit of Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it up in the mountains in Panama is probably the best place. Except every day I had to find something to do, and there's a little difference in Thailand.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, Thailand, anytime, night or day, I've got something to do, and there's a lot of people here. People are very friendly. In Panama, they won't say no. That if you're in an area with a lot of expats, prices go up, and they go up pretty fast. And it seemed like a chore to find something to do every day by myself. Here, I don't have to worry about it.
So what are you doing here every day? I know you've traveled a little bit and seen different things.
Well, it's like a exploration, a personal exploratory experience every single day, because every day I get so much more action, so much more adventure into each day than I did in Panama. There's just no end to. In the middle of the night, I can go get something to eat.
Yeah, and there's no challenge in Thailand getting food, is there? We talked about that before, that it's cheap and plentiful.
I can eat a meal for 60 cents here.
Yeah.
Maybe 80.
Yeah.
Maybe $1.
Mm-hmm.
And my health has improved a lot just being here, just from eating the food.
And the lack of stress helps out as well. I mean, and you're getting around. You rented a car and drove around, but most of the time in the city you were on foot, right?
Well, I rented a motorbike.
Oh, do you have a motorbike here?
Yeah. At first it was a little scary for about 5 hours, and then
you get used to the
craziness. I just jumped right
craziness.
into the traffic, and people are really careful driving.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's organized chaos is the way I look at it. You know what I mean? There's a method to it. It appears chaotic, but really everybody's doing their thing and aware of everybody else doing their thing.
Everybody's really careful. Mm-hmm. And if I start to pull to the right, it's like they've already anticipated that, and they've slowed down a little.
That's right. I've always said this is really important for anybody that comes over. If you're using any form of transportation, make everything you do slow and deliberate. If you do it slowly and deliberate, they know what your intention is. They can see it, and like you say, they're going to slow down or go around you or give you your room to continue what you're doing, as long as they know what you're doing.
Exactly. And if a car slows down, you want to go, because otherwise that car is confused.
That's right.
And last night I made a slow turn, and I didn't notice the sand on the ground, and I slid. And I was going very slow, so you just have to be careful, watch where we're going. And the young ladies drive better than the older guys.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They grew up on these bikes. It's their family unit, and it's the workhorse of Asia as well.
Well, JC, I went up to Laos yesterday, and we took a speedboat over and visited Laos over the Mekong River.
How many hours were you in Laos?
Oh, I was only there about an hour.
Oh, that's too bad. Because I wanted to actually ask you what you saw as the price difference when we crossed the border. Because when I visited Laos, which was quite a few years ago, I haven't been there recently. it was relatively inexpensive. But people coming back now say that it's a lot more expensive there than Thailand, which I wanted some kind of confirmation about that.
I think the quality of the products are better in Thailand, but the prices on some things weren't bad. I bought a map for $1.25, I think, or $2.25, and that was comparable. I didn't buy anything else, but I thought the prices were a little high.
Yeah, I got to find somebody that's been over there, or I got to head over again and check out accommodations, transportation, things like that, and food prices as well. Because I know somebody that's been living a lot of the time over here in Thailand, and they visited Laos and said it was quite a bit more expensive than here. So I need to go confirm that. As a whole, what do you think about Thailand? What's your general impression so far? And you've been here now how long?
2 weeks, a little over.
Have you been here before?
I was here a long, long time ago. Things have changed a lot.
Really?
They've changed for the better. People are still people. Some people will always be struggling, you know. There's a lot of technology changes. It's a whole different country than when I remember it.
Yeah. Our infrastructure's improved a lot over the last 10 years here.
The dogs, the snakes, they all seem to be gone.
Yeah, they ate them.
Malaria's gone, pretty much. I don't have to worry about shots like I thought I had to worry about shots.
I know, you had mentioned that, and I kept saying, don't worry about it. If you're in the city. Now, if you do trekking and you go off the beaten path, and I'm going to do a little video. I actually shot some with my phone. I'm going to post on YouTube about this. We have, and I don't know if you've heard them before, they probably don't come back into this resort, but they have these foggers, and they'll go up and down the roads and they stick them down into the sewers and fog with this pesticide that'll kill all the mosquitoes. So we used to have trucks that ran around in America with the foggers coming off the back to kill the mosquitoes, but here they've got people that are actually doing this thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
So we've eradicated, we still have mosquitoes, but we've eradicated most of the mosquitoes that carry dengue fever and malaria and stuff from the cities. We still have pesky mosquitoes in the dusk and dawn.
Well, dengue fever is important. I think hepatitis A and B might be good for that's serious effects if you get that hepatitis A or B, and they're really simple shots, and they last for a long time, and they're not really that expensive. I mean, when you figure
I
your
mentioned
health,
to somebody that they can do that once they get here. That some people realize that it's a series of shots. Am I correct?
it is a series.
So if they don't have enough time to do it before they get here, as soon as they get here, because you're not going to pick it up in the first day or two, more than likely.
You could, but chances are slim, and if you
they would be cheaper here to get the shots.
But if you got one shot ahead of time, it wouldn't hurt. It just depends on your time schedule. One thing about mosquitoes is I think that mosquitoes like still water. Ponds are still water.
That's right.
And I went on a trek. I went on a 2-day trek on one night. And that was an experience. And that was a lot more vigorous climbing than I thought.
Yeah.
And
and of course you slept under a mosquito net at night.
Under a mosquito net. I was all worried about mosquitoes. I forgot to bring a long sleeve shirt. I forgot to bring a swimming suit to swim in the waterfall. I forgot my deep mosquito spray.
What did you remember? Your cell phone?
They never gave me a list of what to bring. I just brought a pack and a change of clothes.
So for somebody that's coming trekking and they're watching this, what would you recommend that they bring, having done the trek? Just some things that you thought were necessities that you didn't have.
To make you feel better. And a long sleeve shirt's nice when you're trekking up in the mountains. You go up to the waterfall. Because I was cold, I was the only one without a long sleeve shirt. And they have long sleeve, very light tie. If you go to the market, there's all kinds of markets around here.
You like cotton clothing.
And if you find fisherman's clothes or hiking clothes that the Thais wear, and they're very light, long sleeve, and short, long pants that are like for hiking.
Okay. So clothing,
I would say
swimsuit,
a long sleeve shirt, and if you go into a waterfall, bring a swimsuit. Bring some
mosquito
spray.
repellent.
Yeah. Change of clothes, a pack, a flashlight's good.
Did they have a pad for you to lay on at night to sleep on?
They had a pad, but what I think would be really good is if you could bring a small sleeping bag. Because sometimes they had blankets, but the blankets they slid off really easy. If I had a pack, it would have been a lot more better.
And another thing to consider coming over traveling, I know that they sell these things that are like silk sleeping bags, sort of like just something you can slip into. So if you don't want to be in contact with bedding that you're not sure about or something like that. And it would add a little extra, if it was warm when they were trekking, and they'd have a cover over them that they'd be in, but also it would be clean, you know, they'd know. So that's something to keep in mind.
They had little pillows, but I was kind of worried about, like, who slept on that pillow, and is there bed bugs or what? I don't know, you know, I'm new here. If you had a little something, or I guess just your own clothing, but they make these little small pillows if you got room to carry one.
I've actually got one that's an inflatable pillow. And what I do is it packs down to almost nothing. I can blow it up and then take a T-shirt and slip the T-shirt inside the T-shirt, and then you got a cover for it, but it's also doubles as a T-shirt as well.
I recommend that.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. I carry it, and it actually it's funny because I looked for it when I was over here, and it was actually made for a dog to sleep on.
Really?
So it's like a pillow for a dog to lay on, but it's perfect size for us. And it blows up. I slip it into a T-shirt, and then I got a pillow.
Well, you know, I brought a pillowcase over here.
Man, good idea.
And someone told me to bring a pillowcase. I haven't used it yet, but I forgot to bring it on the trek.
Well, you stay at a nice place. This is the Chongpuak Hotel, and their bedding here
nice.
is really
it's very
nice.
cheap.
Yeah.
This is.
By the way, we're in Chiang Mai doing this, and I did a video about this Chongpuak Hotel, and I've recommended to a number of people. Everybody that's been here really likes the place, and we're doing this interview in their garden / restaurant, and even though we're minutes from the city and the craziness, they're doing construction on the road, which is 50 meters from here or something, and we don't even hear it back here. It's really nice.
I think anybody with a little courage that wants a little excitement, get on a motorbike, that thinks they can do it, I think that's a good way to get around.
It is.
I think it's really great. You know, you can avoid the tuk-tuks, avoid extra costs, just go where you want to go. Just bring
some
a map.
people are, we actually have really nice maps here if you pick up, and I actually send one with the Retirement Survival Kit, a little one that fits right in your pocket. It's really detailed, which is really good, but you can pick it up, I think, at the airport when you get here as well. But yeah, don't be too worried about the motorbike. If you have any experience on motorcycles, you'd probably be okay, and if you're not, then you need to rent a motorbike and just go around in the back little streets for 10, 15, 20 minutes so you feel comfortable braking, throttling, turning corners and stuff like that before you get out in the...
Well, you know, it's a real kick in the ass. It's a lot of fun.
It really is.
I really enjoy getting out on that bike.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Just be real careful all the time, and it's exciting to be careful. I mean, all of a sudden you got to use your brain.
You do. You need to be aware.
It's good exercise.
Yeah, we're used to being sort of numbed out back home because everything's so organized.
Yeah, we just get automated and we don't think about anything.
And I've said this in a number of videos. I really think that the addictive part of doing this is that when you step into an environment that's culturally different, it's a different language and everything, you need to revert back to that primal instinct of survival where you're aware of your surroundings, you're aware of people around you, where you're going to get your next meal, is it going to start raining, do I need to think about the weather, and you think about all these things, you start to feel alive again.
You know, that's so exciting because at home you don't think about that.
No.
And we don't use our brains back home. And here, you get in the airport, you don't know what to do. All of a sudden, you think, uh-oh, if we just stop and think, okay, what am I trying to do? Okay, I want to get through immigration and customs. Okay, where's that? I need some money. Okay, well, there's an ATM machine. You just think.
You're not on autopilot here like you are back home.
And I think that's exciting.
It is exciting. I think it's addictive, actually. I really do think.
And you know, part of health, mental health, is thinking. You know, we got to use our brains.
Yeah, mental stimulation is important.
And now driving around the city, you have to think.
Yeah, be aware, especially because we're driving different on the opposite side as back in the U.S. So that too, you need to pay attention to. The only time when I first came over, I had a problem with that was actually if I turn onto a road that there was no other traffic, then my brain would revert back to go down the right side of the road, and all of a sudden I'd see somebody coming at me and go, that's not the right side, you know? And so, but if there's traffic around, you're following the flow of traffic, it doesn't really become an issue. You're just sort of following everybody else.
Right, and I think that being alert every minute is healthy and mentally stimulating, because like last night, my right side of the road thinking kicked in, and I was going to make a right turn, and I started to go in the right lane without looking. I looked to the left like I normally do in the States, I started to go when I saw about 4 or 5 headlights coming on, not to scare anybody, but just be alert, and that's good mental stimulation.
And a rule of thumb, it doesn't matter if you're walking on a motorbike or anything. If you go to cross a road over here, look both ways. Even if you get used to the proper way that they're coming from,
Right.
which is opposite ours, they'll be coming down the wrong side, the opposite, against traffic and stuff. So a rule of thumb, no matter if you're stepping out onto a road or whatever, look both ways.
Right.
No matter, it's like Mom used to teach us, you know,
Yes.
look both ways before you cross the road. And that's really important when you're over
See,
here.
last night, that example of going right, I looked left to see if the traffic was clear. I forgot to look right. I started to go, and then I saw it. I didn't look first.
Yeah, real important.
Um,
So, as a whole, how's your experience going? How much longer do you have before you leave?
JC, I could leave early, but I went to a lot of effort to get here. The weather's so nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
There's so much to do. I feel a lot. My activity levels increased so much. My health, just eating the food. You know, it's not only cheaper, but it's way better for you.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to lose weight and they come over here, right, they eat rice with every meal here: breakfast rice, lunch rice, dinner rice. And if you actually want to lose weight, just get the food without the rice, and they'll make it for you. Vegetables with chicken, or vegetables with shrimp, or any kind of the Thai food. Just say you don't want the rice, and you can drop weight really quick without eating those carbs.
Right. I think you told me the other day, just because I was worried about that, concerned about that, not worried, but I want to lose a few pounds, and you told me to just, every time I see fresh fruit, stop and eat it.
Yes.
And the pineapple's so good.
Yes.
I mean, you can stop for 20
And it's watermelon season now. Get the watermelon. And the mango. I had a mango smoothie this morning. It was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, the other day I went to Maasai, near the Burma border, and we shouldn't go to Burma. That's not really safe.
Yeah, and we shouldn't support that regime as well. I mean, what they do to the Burmese people. But it is changing. A friend of mine did a sculpture of Aung San Suu Kyi, and because now she does not under house arrest anymore. She won't leave the country because they wouldn't let her back. But he actually got a visa, which I was really surprised about because of some of the sculptures and stuff he's done. But he was able to present it to her in person, which was really a fantastic thing for him. And there seems to be change going on over there, pro-democracy, a movement. So we'll see what happens in the future. But until it does change, it's not really we shouldn't really support them.
There's a lot of drug trade still taking place in Burma, and I think when they see an American, first thing they see is dollar signs in their brain. And whenever somebody is not making much money and they see dollar signs, they're going to...
There's an opportunity.
It's like keeping honest people honest. Or just being careful, don't be there, then they'll maybe stay honest. But if they see you, they see the dollar signs.
And I mention this, and I'll reiterate it all the time, is, if I summed up Southeast Asian people, and this has to do with not even Southeast Asia, but a lot of places that, they're still struggling. It's not an affluent society, and the middle class is small, that the people become very opportunistic, and so they look at an opportunity to better their situation. So I always say, don't present them with the opportunity, because they'll take it, and that just means don't be stupid. In God you trust, and tie up the horses. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. Good point.
Believe everybody's going to be honest, but don't leave the opportunity for them not to be, because it's very tempting for them. Are you happy with your trip so far?
Oh, I'm really happy, and there's so much to consider that. Just what I'm going to do today, like I figured it out already, and that's going to take more than today to do it. And the days are going by actually pretty slow because they're so action-filled. Actually, I guess they're going rather fast. I think maybe Panama was slow because I
was bored.
You're
not bored here, right?
I think I had to figure out more what to do in Panama.
It's hard to get bored here, actually. Even doing nothing, it's just entertaining watching what's going on.
Panama's nice, but it depends what you want to do. I think this is more relaxing here. I think the people here, overall, even though a lot of people can't speak English, there's a lot of people that can.
And even the ones that can't, you have a rapport with them just because of the friendliness factor. It seems like, you know, you look at each other and you laugh and you smile and it's like you're a friend, but you haven't said anything, you know?
Right. Or if you say a few words, they really enjoy that.
Can you see yourself retiring over here?
I could see myself, being that this is my first effort to come over here, I'd like to take it slow and live half the time here and half the time in the States, and then as time goes on, you know, more will be developed. And but when I was in the United States, it was cold.
Yeah.
And I got uncomfortable. And there was not much to do. I found myself sitting around a lot, and when it's cold, you eat more.
That's true.
The body
less
needs...
activity and more food's not a good combination.
No.
Not for weight.
When you're cold, the body needs more energy, so it needs more food. And if there's nothing to do, you have a tendency to eat out of comfort.
And that's really a beautiful time to be over here because, you know, you go from really frigid weather back home to coming over where it's winter over here is really nice, moderate.
It is.
You know, it's like being in Florida in the wintertime. That's why all the snowbirds used to go to Florida. You know, you could come over here and spend 6 months or 8 months, and even if you wanted to leave something back home to go back to every once in a while, you know, or spend some of the time over there with friends and family. But you would save so much money in the other 8 months you were here that I know a guy who rents out his house in Colorado, and he rents it for, I think, 8 months, and then goes back for 4 months. And so that's sort of a really good thing, because what he makes off the rental for the 8 months, not only can he live here for those 8 months, but he can go home and live off the rest of that money for the other 4 months.
Oh, in the United States, back in Seattle, I ate out a fair amount. And every time I eat out, it's it's $10.
Yeah.
And then you got to leave a tip.
That's right.
And maybe it's $12. And that adds up quick.
Absolutely.
And over here, I might eat for $1. There's no tips here, no sales tax. If they say 40 baht, it's 40 baht.
That's right. And most of the places you don't even tip unless you're sitting in a nice restaurant and you think you're going to come back and want them to remember you. You can leave 10 baht or 20 baht.
Yeah, and I don't think they expect
10
it.
10 baht for one person. If you got a, 300, 400 baht meal, you still only leave 20 or 30 baht. Which is $1.
Yeah, JC, I felt a little hesitant coming here because it is a big move.
It is.
It takes courage because you're going from somewhere that you're familiar with, where you're comfortable with, where you know where you're at, where you know what to do, and you can, and you're going, oh my gosh, Thailand, that's a long way away. That's kind of scary. Maybe I can't speak the language, maybe this, maybe that. But hey, if you don't go,
you'll never know
where you're going to be. If you're going to be in Thailand a month, and you're afraid to come for a month, so what are you going to do? Are you going to stay there for a month? A month's going to go by anyway. Yeah,
a month's going to go by, and like you said, I mean, a lot of it is, people trying to make everything perfect before they come, and
don't overanalyze.
Don't overanalyze.
That's what I did.
Exactly.
I thought too much. I talked myself out of it.
Yeah, I think I actually sent you an email saying you're worrying a little too much. Don't worry about all this stuff. Just get over here.
I'm glad for that that email. But when I was back home. I analyzed things too much, and I stayed in my muck. I just sat there, and I call that the outhouse, because you're in the outhouse. You're in that place where you're waiting. You're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting to make up your mind. You're waiting for the postman.
It's paralysis by analysis. You just you're overanalyzing to the point where you don't do anything.
Yeah, and when are we going to start living? The only way to live is go take a risk. I'm glad I came.
Well, if you continue to do what you always do, you're going to continue to get what you've always gotten.
Right.
And it's like, to change things, there's got to be change. You got to try something different.
Right, if you keep doing what you've always done, expecting something new to happen.
I think that's the definition of insanity, isn't it?
Exactly. And you're going to be in the same place a month, 2 months. I thought back, what did I accomplish in the last 6 months? I accomplished sitting around thinking about, am I going to go to Thailand? Am I going to go to Panama? What am I going to do? Until I said, I'm just going to go.
It's amazing, somebody says, well, maybe I'll do this in the future. And then they look and years pass by, and you think, well, you've already could have been here, experienced it, and said, is this right or wrong for you in that year? So might as well get it over with and say, yeah, this could be a plan for the future or not. And at least you know, because I know it's not for everybody.
But yeah, it might be for everybody to come check it out.
Absolutely.
Find out. Maybe you'll find
Either
out.
to check it onto the list or check it off of the list.
At least you did something for a month.
Yeah, it's going to be an adventure. It's going to be
an
adventure and as a different experience no matter what. Some things that everybody should experience one time. And like I said, every time I end the video, it's there's always an option. And so people need to know, is this an option for either now, the future, or if things get worse, that this is an option to be able to come and spend time until the storm passes, Well,
JC, isn't it
you lost your train of thought. That's okay, but I really do believe that, and this is why, I just put up a video the other day about wanting to buy the van, and outfitting the van so I can travel in it and sleep in it, because I want to go out and show people, Chiang Mai, I spend time up here, but I love the beach. I'm from Florida. And I love the beaches, and we got fantastic, beautiful beaches here. I just went to Nakhon Sawan, and that was a really cool place because it's off the beaten path for foreigners. And so to live in a place like that, you really feel like you get the hospitality and the culture of Thailand. And so, there's so many options. I need to get out and show people more of those. So I'm really excited if people donate to my van project. So I don't mind being sort of a semi-camper and sleeping in it, just to be able to get out there and save the money from the room accommodations and to be able to show people what's over here and get over in Cambodia as well. I need to do that real soon. That's an up-and-coming place. But the whole thing about life is options. If you have no options, you're basically imprisoned. You have no choice. And this is a choice, and there's a lot of choices even within going to Southeast Asia. And I need to present that to people, and I appreciate you, helping me with that by giving, your thoughts and your impressions of being over here.
Well, that's a good point. And I just, I mentioned this morning that I went on a trip for 3 days. I went up to Laos. And this morning when I looked at it on a map, that was just a small portion of Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through Chiang Rai. I like Chiang Rai. It's a little colder. The air's a little cleaner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but really, Thailand is a big country.
It's a very
and it's
big
very
country.
Vast. And I feel like I, in 3 days, just barely hit a little corner.
Oh, wait till you see
north.
when I get down to the beaches and places people have never even seen before.
I've never been to an island.
They're going to freak out, because it's just, and when they see what the cost is to live on the beach.
Oh, the price
I'm talking
is
about
incredible.
on the beach or within walking distance outside of a bungalow. Walk out the door and go down the street and you're at the beach, and what it costs per month to live like that. It's amazing.
Well, a couple problems I had in the States was lack of activity. I didn't know what I was going to do from day to day. If I was working, when I worked, it was the same thing every day. And it was like everything I made was getting eaten up by living.
Mm-hmm.
And so I began to feel burned out. And I'm burned out, I think it's pretty much when you don't enjoy what you're doing and life is getting to be a drudge, it's time for a change.
Absolutely.
And when things aren't working and you're not happy, it's time to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Until we do something different, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, and a lot of
repeat
people
the same story. We're going to have the same problems.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are stuck with more month at the end of the money. There's money's run out and there's still more month left. And that's not a good situation to be in. And this is why I'm always trying to show not only people's opinions in different places, but to show in those different categories that I separate on the free membership site, category 1, 2, and 3, that even under category 1 between 500 and 750, you could survive back home maybe, but it's not going to be a high quality of living. Where over here, as you say, you go out and get a meal for less than $1, I mean, your money goes so much further, and the environment that you're in, if you cut back your expenses in America, your environment changes with it. But here you can cut back your expenses, and you still are living in a social country, so you're still interacting with people, having a social life with friendly people, and not in a dangerous area where it's low rent, but you still have culture and life for a small amount of money.
Right. You know, my just my monthly rent costs more than way more than it costs to live here for food. Food is nothing here. Food was a big thing in the States.
So your rent back home costs more than everything to live for a month
and then
here.
I wasn't happy on top of it.
Yeah.
The excitement and adventure here is worth it. Just the amount of improvement in my health is just the food alone would cause me serious consideration to live here.
Yeah, and you can't put a price on your health.
If I don't have health, what do I?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have it.
exactly. Anybody knows that's been sick before,
Right.
and they have to reevaluate their priorities and their values of what's important. Because without health, what do you have?
I used to think money was where it was. Well, money is important.
It is.
We have to have money.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is your health worth?
You can't put a price on it. Because money, nothing means anything if you don't have health.
You can have all the money you want.
And I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do a video. We have a place that's not far from Chiang Mai that is set up for people that have strokes. And it's a place where people go and they stay for rehab. They live there.
Oh.
And the Thai people do Thai massage, rehab, the food, everything. And it's amazing the results they have. And it's not far from here. So I'm going to do a video about that to show that, you know, and I always try and do things about medical and stuff like that to show that if you come over, not only are you living a healthier lifestyle, but if you do have a problem, you don't need to worry about the care that you're going to get, you know?
That's a good point.
This guy doesn't care we're doing a video. I just water the plants.
Oh, it looks like orchids growing.
Yeah, beautiful orchids here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll wrap this up. I know that I don't want the people to get bored, and you know we're getting watered now as well. So we'll wrap it up. But I appreciate you doing the interview. Is there any thoughts that you have for any of our members back at home?
I just want to talk a moment. I didn't think I'd say this, but I had 2 dental experiences. And they found 10 cavities that my dentist didn't find. And I went to a dentist in Bangkok who fixed 3 cavities, and 7 cavities took place in about 2 hours.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to, the owner's right there, and I don't think he knows that we're doing a video.
Well, I just want to mention that the dental is really professional, thorough, and fast.
Go ahead.
And inexpensive, and I was really happy. That's all I have to say.
Okay, well, good. And another thing was that and I wanted to mention this before, you had lost your glasses and they sort of got damaged a little bit. You know you can get a brand new pair here. If you're going to replace those when you get back home, you should do it here because you'll be able to get them really inexpensive.
Oh, and don't bring too many clothes. Everything you can imagine is here.
Yeah.
Bring enough for a day or two, for sure, but
the rest pick up while you're here.
But for almost nothing you can, and maybe a lot of us need new clothes anyway.
Yeah.
You know, really nice clothes, cheap.
Yeah.
Anything you want, you know.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, thanks again for your interview. Before we go, you know, you're part of the membership group, you know, our membership community. Is there anything you'd like to say to our members, you know?
I'd just like to say don't be afraid to take a chance and go out and live your life. You won't
because you correspond with some of these people,
you won't get
know?
anywhere sitting home worrying about stuff. And the more you think, the more you'll talk yourself out of it.
Has the membership site been helpful for you?
Oh, it has. If you try to prepare too much, and the membership site's really important. But if you try to get too perfect and, you know, get the basics down and just come and more will be revealed. Mm-hmm. Just one day I just decided, you know, hey, I'm going to go, you know, I'm tired of thinking about it. And I'm glad. Mm-hmm. I just want to encourage people to live their life.
Cool.
You know?
Very good.
Just stop doing what you're doing that's not working.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Yeah, try something different. What the heck? How much
working,
worse could it be? You can always go back to what you had.
Yeah, it can't get worse.
Yeah, you can always go back.
You might get uncomfortable, but that's just a challenge, is what it is.
Yeah. Well, no matter how bad things get, or how hopeless things feel, people got to remember what I always say, which is what? Remember.
Oh, there's always an option.
There's always an option. That's right. And whether this is it or not, that's up to some people. I think it's something that they should explore anyway as a possibility. But there is always an option. So no matter what's happening back home or whatever, keep that in mind. And till I meet again, till I make another video or whatever, Roy and I say, remember there's always an option. And thanks. And JC out.